Hello and welcome to another week of the Baby Bottle Benefit. Every year, A Door of Hope's work is supported by thousands of donors all over Newcastle County and Delaware and the surrounding areas. Without you, our work would not be possible. So today, we are going to get some perspective on the work of A Door of Hope from one of our supporters, Chase Ross. So Chase, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.
Tell us about when you became passionate about being pro-life.
Well, I grew up in a Christian home, so the idea of abortion and pro-life and all of that I grew up in it. So I grew up in that environment, so I was aware of these things all the way kindergarten through high school. But it wasn't until after college that I started reading more into the pro-life cause, really a deep dive of authors like Robert George and Stephen Schwartz, Scott Klusendorf, and then I really got engaged, and I guess intellectually, into the arguments and things like that, and it really got me once I realized what was actually happening with abortion. You know, what's happening at conception, when it begins, and all through the 9 months of pregnancy. That's really it just opened my eyes to, this is what abortion's doing.
Yes.
You know, and that's when I really got interested in the pro-life cause and the Door of Hope, and because again, I knew about a Door of Hope growing up in the church in Delaware.
Okay.
So the first instance or first way I got associated with the Door of Hope was through Baby Bottle Boomerang, because I heard
is the story for so many people.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. I can picture those little baby bottles.
Yes.
From high school and everything. So. Yeah, that's how I got started.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and now that I have 4 kids, it's like I have a family, I have children. I went through, or my wife went through a pregnancy with 4 kids, and going through that whole process, it just reinforces everything about what pro-lifers do from before women even get pregnant, through their pregnancies, all the way to after, and how the Door of Hope is there, and not just the Door of Hope, but other pregnancy health organizations and things like that. So.
Yeah, so I love how you get intellectually inspired, and all of a sudden the beauty of human life suddenly becomes very real and very tangible.
Right.
And so if other people are wanting to learn more about how to be more pro-life, or even just how to articulate why they think human life is beautiful and what the sanctity of human life is, how would you encourage them to start that process for themselves?
Yeah, good question. I think, first of all, you got to read your Bible. You got to get into the Word. That's crucial. If you're not seeing that God created the world, then He created humans as rulers of the world, and then He gave people, a mandate to procreate, the creation mandate. So there's a reason that we have babies. And then not only that, but if you dive deeper into it, that not only does He ask us to, or command us to have children and to procreate and to subdue the earth, but also that He designs every single child.
Yes.
And He has not only designs them while in the womb, but He knows them before they're ever even conceived. So knowing that every single person is an image bearer from the moment of conception all the way through natural death, that's crucial. If you don't know that, if you don't really believe that, if you don't understand that to an extent, it's going to be tough to see what abortion is actually happening. So when it boils down to is the moral question of abortion has a lot to do with what the purpose of humans and purpose of human life, to glorify God, and the fact that we are born in His image, created for His glory.
Excellent. Exactly. And it's so amazing that when you do start to do the research, you do begin to see this intersection of faith and science, and they all work together beautifully. They are not in opposition, they are in consort. And so it's amazing to see all that come together. So Chase, as a man, you are interested in the work of a pregnancy center, which is largely a woman-run organization. We are mostly there, largely our clientele are women, but we also serve men, we also serve couples. But you're interested in the work of A Door of Hope. So if a dad were to come to you tomorrow and say, my partner or my wife is experiencing an unplanned pregnancy, we're in a really bad spot financially, I'm not sure if we can do this, how would you begin the conversation with that person?
I think first I would again, depending how well I know him, I guess. But first, I would probably congratulate him.
Yes.
Tell him that your partner, wife, girlfriend, whoever, being pregnant isn't a bad thing. Mm-hmm. The fact that a new human life is born, again, we just talked about the Bible, the gospel, how procreation plays such a large role in God's design for the world. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. That's a good, it's true, a beautiful thing. So I would try to congratulate him and encourage him on that regard. I understand that the circumstances surrounding abortion can be or surrounding pregnancy can be difficult. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of nuance to that.
Yes.
I totally agree. I totally see that. But I want him to see that the fact that there is a human life born or conceived, mm-hmm. and in your girlfriend or wife or partner's womb is a beautiful thing. Now, I can understand from a financial perspective. I have 4 kids, so I know that kids cost money.
Yes.
That's just to put it bluntly, and I know that can be difficult for lower income families. Mm-hmm. So I would just tell him that there are organizations like A Door of Hope, churches, local ministries that can help you and come alongside with you every step of the way, not just before the baby's born, but even after the baby's born. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage him to try and, depending on where he lives and things like that, I would encourage him to get plugged into some kind of local ministry, A Door of Hope, and tell him that there are people out there who are going to love you and be with you every step of the way. Mm-hmm. And that again, it's easier said than done not to worry and be anxious, but that they can help bear your burdens.
Excellent. And I think that speaks to something that A Door of Hope is very passionate about, which is rallying the community together. We don't want to just be an isolated organization that meets everyone's needs. We can do so much up to a certain point, but our heart is to rally churches and to rally people around men and women and families who are experiencing difficult life circumstances and giving them that support system. So I love that you see that and that you have a heart for that as well. What's one way you would want to encourage churches to get involved with the Door of Hope?
Well, an easy one would be the baby bottle boomerang.
Yes, thank you.
That's my first and many people's first interaction with the Door of Hope is through a baby bottle boomerang. Mm-hmm. Another thing is just, I guess I would encourage people, not just specific churches, but individuals in the church, just to try to support you guys on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. I understand that global pandemics, recessions, it can be tough.
Yes.
But $5 a month is just start with that, and if you can grow it, so be it. If you can't, you can't. I just try and do something.
Yes.
On a monthly basis if you can. That's how I would.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So also, what's one thing you wish more people knew about A Door of Hope? Like, what do you think some of the preconceived notions are about pregnancy centers? And then what do you wish more people knew about?
Yeah, so there is a caricature of pro-lifers in general that basically says that we only care about the babies while they're in the womb. And then, just on the face of it, it's just completely patently false, because you can't go down a city block without seeing a church or a hospital named St. Paul's Methodist University Hospital.
Right.
The fact that people tell us that Christians, especially pro-life Christians, don't care about people after they're born, it's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So what I would want people to understand is that A Door of Hope is, they break the mold, so to speak. They destroy that caricature, in that they're there from before pregnancy starts to during a pregnancy to after. They're there to support both the father and the mother all the way through and beyond. So that's what I would want people to know.
That's awesome. Yeah, and one thing we love to say as staff is that A Door of Hope is a no judgment zone, and that a lot of our volunteer counselors and our staff, there's nothing you can tell them that they haven't heard. And so we do have open arms, and we can't wait to help people who come through our doors. Well, Chase, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to articulate this. Thank you. You recently actually wrote one of our Fast Facts of Life emails that we send out, so we thank you for your efforts to just continue to educate our supporters about what it means to love life and to point people in the direction of abundant life. We hope that you were inspired by what you heard today, whether you continue to get involved through prayer or by volunteering or by donating, as Chase suggested. Head on over to the campaign link for our baby bottle benefit page, and we can't wait to be with you again next week. Thank you.